The most important thing will be the Chuck Wendig tweets as written by Jack, as read by Jack.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Is there any particular cartoonish voice you would like for Chuck, or is it just whatever?
I like it when you get like really excited and it's like, "Rah!"
Oh, like the standard Crow Jack got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I cannot.
My best friend Lin Manuel's here.
I cannot fucking wait for this. This is really the seeds we planted of searching his Twitter.
I know.
Really bear born fruit.
Weeks ago, me and Reese, instead of playing a game, just went down this huge fucking rabbit hole of looking at Chuck Wendig's worst tweets. And we just found a whole bunch of them. And when we get to that point in the episode, I'll link them. But yeah.
We were searching like any word that might yield cringe. It's just like, let's see if he says anything awful like Chuck Wendig boobies. Too cringe.
No!
That was our thought process, is that we just search Chuck Wendig potentially cringe word.
Oh my god. Yes, and it yielded such glorious fruits.
Okay, let's not build it up. Let's
All right. I'll just do the intro. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Video Games Are the Worst Thing on Earth. With me, as always, is Reese.
Flippity dippity dippity doo.
Oh god. And I forgot to say that I'm Alton. And I'm
Hi Alton.
And it's been 1 day since my last drink. But we also have special guest Jack of Funtime Calls fame.
Yes, hello. I know. You can sit down now, audience. I know. It's like of all the guests, this is the one.
This is our most famous guest we've ever had. Thank you for blessing our podcast with your presence.
All of our listeners are just screaming in their basement,
tearing their clothes off.
Yeah.
Just like
destroying all of their possessions just because they don't know how to direct that energy.
But yeah, how are you doing, Jack?
I'm doing pretty great. I had a nice little productive day. I got my podcast drink of choice, some cheer wine, because I'm pumped. I'm ready to go.
Hell
wow,
yeah.
Cheer wine.
Yep.
Are you in North Carolina, Jack?
I am not. I have a friend who lives there, so he introduced me to this glorious beverage, this red Dr. Pepper, and that ever since then I'm obsessed with it. So they sell it in where I live, which is I'll say it's I live in Memphis. So
okay, I didn't want to dox you if you didn't want, but
there are a lot of Jacks. Jack is not like a rare name. I think we'll be okay. It's like, okay, Google, like, where's this Jack? I'm gonna find you.
Just a platoon of just awful game show haters, just on a rampage
through Memphis,
killing every Jack in North Carolina and Memphis.
Oh yeah, it's gonna take a while.
Anyway, enough of us having fun and hanging out. It's time to talk about some cringe. This episode is dedicated to the Lord of Cringe himself, Chuck Wendig.
We're doing it. We're doing more about Chuck Wendig.
Yeah. We had like a bit in the last episode, I think, where we talked about Chuck Wendig, but since then he has done something besides from post-cringe to justify retroactively our hatred of him, which is my favorite thing to happen.
I mean, he was a Liz Warren supporter, so...
Oh, that's true. Oh my god, that fucking tweet. Jesus Christ.
And not just like, well, I guess I'm gonna vote for her. He was the Liz Warren is my mommy guy.
Exactly.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
that's gonna be one of the tweets you have to read. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, Jack is on here because I specifically wanted him and his vocal comedic talents to read Chuck Wendig's tweets. Yeah, I think that's going to be amazing when we get to that. But first, Reese, tell us what is the latest episode in the Chuck Wendig saga.
Chuck Wendig single-handedly is bringing down the Internet Archive. No one else is involved. It is only him. Yeah, that's not true. Chuck Wendig went on an extremely stupid bender. I forget how long ago now, 2 weeks or so, where Internet Archive opened up their books. So in something called an emergency library, because there was a virus going on, and they figured, hey, wouldn't it be?
That's by the time this comes out in 2022, it will be gone. It will definitely be gone.
And Chuck Wendig just had a full-on baby meltdown about how it's a piracy site, even though you could only check out the books over a short period of time, even though the emergency library was set to end January 30th. Even though only 7 people would bother to read Chuck Wendig's trash.
No. I want to be very specific about this because I found a tweet earlier that had screenshot some of his books on the Internet Archive. And let's see. Here are 2 of his books. Under the Empyrean Sky and Double Dead. Under the Empyrean Sky has 0 reads and 7 views. That means someone clicked on it to look at it. And Double Dead has 5 views. So this is what this man is diping out about, that his deeply unpopular books are being looked at for free.
And they are...
The horror!
All of which are available on actual pirate sites and that you could download if you wanted to.
Why the fuck would you want to, though? We're going to get to this man's writing as well, because it's fucking insane. It is... He has... this is some sort of abomination spawned in, the early 2010s epic, little random humor sites. This is imagine, if you will, Reddit as some sort of disgusting deep frying memes and shit like that. And this is the dregs, the little black sludge that has accumulated at its edges and on the bottom and has been scooped up and formed into a human being known as Chuck Wendig.
And Disney destroyed all of its non-Star Wars book and comic canon, so Chuck Wendig could rewrite it in his image.
Oh no! Is he writing a Star Wars book?
He's written a ton of them. He is one of the big Star Wars writers.
He is.
Oh,
he's been interviewed many times.
That's why he has so many followers. Is that a lot of the books that are he's writing one that's connecting the events after the original trilogy to the new trilogy and what happens.
That is the most horrifying thing I think I've learned today. Jesus Christ. Not only has Star Wars been consumed by fucking the mouse of power, it's now under its story has been directed at the edges by a man who thinks Liz Warren is his mommy.
So this man, after he did that, has basically spawned within his mind a lawsuit from all of the major publishers, including Chuck Wendig's.
Chuck Wendig's Tulpa is a lawsuit against the Internet Archive.
And I have a short article here from Ars Technica that it's pretty grim but short about the situation. So here we go. It's from Timothy B. Lee. Internet Archive ends emergency library early to appease publishers. The Internet Archive has ended its National Emergency Library programs 2 weeks earlier than originally scheduled, the organization announced in a Wednesday blog post. We moved up our schedule because, last Monday, 4 commercial publishers chose to sue the Internet Archive during a global pandemic, the group wrote. The online library called on publishers to call off their costly assaults. But that doesn't seem very likely. The Internet Archive isn't ending its online book lending program altogether. Instead, the group is returning to its controlled digital lending model that it had followed for almost a decade prior to March. Under that model, the group allows only one patron to digitally check out a book for each physical copy the library has in stock. If more people want to read a book than are physically available, patrons are added to a waiting list until someone checks the book back in. In March, the Internet Archive temporarily dispensed with that limit, allowing an unlimited number of people to read the same book. The online library argued this move was necessary and legally justified because the pandemic was denying public access to millions of books that are locked in closed libraries. Experts have told ours that the CDL concept has a better chance of winning approval from the courts than the emergency library idea with unlimited downloads. But the legality of CDL is far from clear. Some libraries have been practicing it for several years without legal problems, but publishers and authors' rights groups have never conceded its legality, and the issue hasn't been tested in court.
Oh boy.
If the publishers dropped their lawsuit now, they would be tacitly conceding the legality of CDL, and potentially endangering the revenues they currently earn from licensing ebooks to libraries for digital checkout. Also, the Internet Archive's decision to stop its emergency lending now is unlikely to protect it from liability for lending it has done over the last 3 months. A win for the publishers could easily bankrupt the Internet Archive. Copyright law allows statutory damages for willful infringement to go as high as $150,000 per work. And the Internet Archive has scanned 1.4 million works and offered them for online download. So the Internet Archive could easily face damages in the billions of dollars if it loses the lawsuit. That's far beyond the group's ability to pay.
That's so fucking bullshit. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yep. And so that's basically why it probably is not entirely Chuck Wendig's fault that this went down, but because they can use this as an opportunity to set legal precedent against these kind of online lending concepts so they can have more control over his money. But those fucking shark people who are lawyers and work for the publishers don't name search on Twitter. So all we can do is own this millionaire baby man who carries water for them. Like, who fucking cares about copyright, first off? Second off, obviously...
Sorry, I just learned Chuck Wendig has blocked me.
Welcome to the club.
Oh my god, if Chuck Wendig has not blocked me.
I know, right? What the fuck?
Jack and Alton have been blocked, and not me.
This is unacceptable.
I've never replied to him, which is the fun. I mean, I made that. I did call him Chuck Weedle, so he's on watch. Yeah.
He has protected his tweets, but I don't believe I've been blocked. So I'm angry.
Don't worry, Reese. He will after this. You can send him a clip, the episode clip, and just get blocked instantly that way.
Oh my god! This part of his Twitter bio is played by Allison Hannigan.
Ugh.
Oh god, I'm gonna rip my own skull out of my head. It is so cringe.
Anyway, the reason why I found that out is because I was trying to look up his original tweet where he was freaking out about the article NPR posted about the Internet Archive's change to their rental policy, basically. And this is his tweet. Dear NPR, hey, hi, this is a pirate website. It's not legit. What the fuck are you doing? So, yeah.
And it's amazing that a lot of fantasy and sci-fi authors who can imagine multiple dimensions and people transporting through the universe cannot imagine that perhaps a slight change in copyright law where people aren't even downloading your fucking books isn't a big deal.
Nope. So no, even in Star Wars, they had like that one scene where like Rey's like, "Oh, hold on, I have to go through all this legal bullshit to get my Jedi training."
Yeah, I remember that scene in The Empire Strikes Back where Darth Vader was like, I may be on the dark side, but even I do not break copyright law. That's just evil.
In the original trilogy, the reason why the Jedi they start hunting them is because they download Jedi instruction booklets without paying the.
That's right. The Jedi archives.
That's the Sith way.
The Jedi archives were pirated, and that's why Order 66 was commenced.
Yeah, Emperor Palpatine's like, have you ever heard the story of PirateBay.com?
Oh my god. Okay, so two things. Fuck Star Wars. Like, fucking Star Wars. I wish it was gone. And fuck Chuck Wendig for, like, starting this whole... I don't even know if he started this whole terrible saga. I feel like he might have more to do with this than we suspect, because... who knows? Maybe he called his fucking publisher and, like, asked them to look into this. Like, he's an author. He's got lots of connections with other authors. I'm assuming he tweeted this. Other blue checkmark scumbags retweeted it. You know, it just like he's drawing attention to this and, like, making it a big deal. And he's a snitch, basically.
100%. And I think, too, that I agree that he definitely gave the issue some light that it might not have otherwise had. But I also think that he is the most embarrassing and least talented individual in this, like, you know, clutching at copyright without any kind of nuance or understanding for the situation. You know, if this was LibGen, you know, I would probably, you know, I would be on LibGen's side, but I'd probably be less angry because that's how it goes. But like the Internet Archive has such a noble goal in general, and is doing so much good compared to what Chuck Wendig does. And it's just disgusting to me that he would do this. And what it is basically successful authors carrying water for the publishers because they are successful. You know, the Authors Guild is not a union that protects, you know, it might stringently enforce copyright, but it's never looking to get authors better payment from the publishers. It's just looking to carry water for them. And he is the face of that right now. So that's why I think that we have to just roast him as completely as possible, because we may not win this, but we can hurt his feelings.
Exactly. And the reason why he is accessible in a way that the publishers are not are, one, he is an individual and not a massive corporation. And two, he is extremely, extremely online. He is just a creature of social media. And it makes him extremely vulnerable to being roasted.
And two, it's just like the general, I would say, like, terrible sci-fi author class are just massive narcissists. Like, I did a tweet where I just jokingly posted a picture of, like, one of those little libraries and said Chuck Wendig's next target. So many fucking people got angry. Like, the mob was with me, of course. But so many people got with me who were just like, do you hate artists getting paid? And I was just like, no. I think we should dismantle our military and whatever else we can so we can have a multi-billion-dollar arts endowment. So even a shithead like Chuck Wendig can get paid. But I don't think that having this kind of moral ransom or anytime you have any nuance about copyright should be entertained in any way, shape, or form. And all of these narcissists, they have to be taken down a peg. You just got to make fun of them, because otherwise, because it's a little chink in their armor, because since they're not getting paid that much in general, what they have is the prestige. Mm-hmm. And it has to go through their head a little bit that they're actually, the world considers them dipshits once again.
Make Chuck Wendig considered a dipshit again.
I think that project is very successful.
All right. But anyway, I think we've gotten into it. We've covered it fairly well. Now people have an idea of what's going on. So, are you guys ready to just read some of the hottest takes, the best takes of that Chuck Wendig can produce?
Oh, I'm excited.
I'm also excited. I'm got a glass of lemonade here. I'm gonna turn off the microphone and just let my earballs just absorb the wonder.
Oh, God. All right, so this one's very contemporary, so I think we want to kick off with this one.
Oh, okay, here we go. I'm sure somewhere right now, a black guy getting stopped by a cop just for being black is saying how he feels like a self-pubbed author.
Oh, no! Chuck Wendig, no!
Oh.
You and I have to say, don't do it, buddy. Don't be that guy.
All right, and I think for context, we should say this is from 2014. So it's not the current protests, but the Black Lives Matter protests.
I was almost for a second thought that you were just gonna lie, just for context. This was 2 days ago.
He said this just right now.
Yeah,
that would be fucking amazing.
This was a reply to Cornel West.
Like, Chuck Wendig is one of those fucking worms that pretends to be woke because he's friends with like libs with like Lin-Manuel Miranda and wants like to have, I don't know, the fucking founding fathers be black women of color or some shit like that. But anyway, here's some more of his writing. I think you're gonna really enjoy this, Jack.
Oh, this one. I had to read this once so I wouldn't laugh.
Yeah.
So I think I can do this. All right, here we go. Gonna crack my knuckles here. This is gonna be tough. All right. I like to think of myself as something of a pop culture examiner. I like to sift through its dust and detritus and see what shiny baubles or squirming beetles my fingers can find. And really, what's more pop culture than porn? Because, you know, erections. See what I did there? Pop culture, erections, pop culture, like pop goes the boner, sproing, maybe? No?
Oh my god.
Okay, I was overreaching. I haven't had the morning coffee yet. Anyway, let's talk about porn. Let's have a pornversation. Porn, man, maybe I'm just getting older. Maybe I'm just getting wiser. What? Wrong there. Commentary there. Wrong. Could be that I'm just getting crankier, but for all the myriad ways we can now receive our pornography, I, for instance, just had a tall, frosty glass of pornography with my oatmeal, and later I will receive one free porn video downloaded straight into my nipples when I buy a venti mocha at Starbucks. I'm getting kind of weary of it all. By golly, I have complaints, porn industry. Are you listening? Are you listening to the complaints of this humble, brilliant man? Will you at least hear my plaintive complaints? Will you hear the lamentations of my women? Let's get down to it. Let's bitch and moan about pornography. Yeah!
Woo! Jesus Christ. Holy shit.
Holy shit. Oh.
That's a brief selection.
What were his I regret even thinking of this, but what were his complaints about
know.
Pornography?
It's probably some bullshit. Like
it doesn't have enough copyright. Or something. I don't know.
He's gonna take down fucking user uploaded content on shit like ImageFap. He's just gonna fucking just like
every meme that features like a porn star, he's gonna go, nope, wrong. That is copyrighted material by BigButts.com. Remove.
Oh my god.
Report.
Jesus Christ.
Jack, hello.
That was painful. That was insanely painful. Like, holy shit. Oh my god. And we're not even done. Like, there's so much more tweets to get through. All right. Are we ready? Are we physically ready for the next one? That first one almost destroyed me.
I'm good to go.
I am being obliterated atom by atom. And I cannot wait to be completely disintegrated.
All right. These are some classics we posted on the Vigatuito Discord earlier. Oh, I can't read these tweets.
I cannot read that tweet. You might just have to like copy paste like the screen cap or something.
All right, this motherfucker.
He's ruining our content.
He's ruining our content. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think I got most of it. Let me go ahead and just post it in the chat. I think it cuts off just like the period at the end. So here you go, Jack.
Well, okay, here we go. Tuesday, your body contains roughly 100,000 miles of arteries, veins, and capillaries. You carry with you an epic journey of life and animation and regeneration. Wow, you're a goddamn blood highway circumnavigating a walking Flashopolis. Have a great day, ambulatory meat city. ...
Oh my god. But here's one we got because he deleted this one ages ago. But here is his infamous Liz Warren tweet.
Oh boy! Imagine how nice it would be to have her as president. How peaceful! Instead of an abusive father, we would have a nice mom, but also the kind of mom who will kick ass in your name, who won't take a guff, who will scrap on your behalf.
Elizabeth Warren is my mommy, is like what this guy is known for. There's so many fucking tweets by this guy. Like, here's another one. He loves making these things about, like, the days of the week, and then doing, like, this long rant that's just like, oh my god.
Monday! Right now, we're all just moody-ass, roly-poly, trash-diving, fumble-headed fiascos. In other words, we're raccoons. That's okay. Raccoons have nice little families and communities. They social distance well. They wear masks. So let's get at it, fuzzy disaster bandits!
I have to say that nothing is gonna... here's the thing. I didn't fully read the one about the porn, and so I was just not prepared for that. But here's one that is the fucking best. I want you to read this just like with the most, like, the thing I like is like where you like have like almost a trill when you're yelling, like that.
Yeah,
exactly. I like that a lot, and I want you to read that with as much of that as you can.
Whiskey on chocolate is amaze tits, which is 3 levels above amaze balls, 2 levels above amaze dick, 1 level above amaze boobs.
Oh my god, that. I was telling you we were searching Chuck Wendig and just cringe words, and Chuck Wendig amazeballs revealed that, and it was like opening up the Necronomicon. You just can't close it again if you live in a post this tweet world.
Exactly. It just Whiskey hot chocolate is amaze tits, and then ranking the levels of amaze like sexual body parts.
This is his tryout for Thrillist. He's really excited.
Oh my god. Yeah, BuzzFeed article. Top amaze balls tits ranked.
He's if Screw Attack were still around, he's like top 10 amaze tits in video games.
Jesus Christ.
I was trying to find that porn article in Terrible Minds, which I think he deleted for good reason.
That's so sad. It's just like,
I know.
Chuck Wendig, I know we're trying to destroy him, but I would love to leave monuments of his passing.
He has multiple, at least 6 different books that's just 500 ways to tell a better story, 500 ways to be a great writer, 500 more ways to be a great writer. And he just has like a zillion of these on Amazon where he's just like peddling just how amazing of a writer he is to people. And it's mind-blowing.
It's incredible that this person is the one trying to tell other people how to be a writer. That is mind-boggling. Like, I don't need Chuck Wendig to tell me how to make compound words like epic taint. Who fucking what? I would be curious to read one of his books and see if it just absolutely destroys my brain.
I looked up the reviews to one of his Star Wars books on Goodreads, and some of them are just like, oh, this is a great Star Wars story. It's finally somebody gets it right. And every so often there's the 1-star review where he's just like, I don't know what any of these people are talking about. This is the fucking worst written thing I have ever read. What the fuck is wrong with everybody? What have they done to Star Wars? I love Star Wars. And then it's just like a video of them crying. Maybe not that last part.
Okay, Jack, are you familiar with Chuck Wendig's Doritos post?
What? He has a Doritos post?
He fucking does.
This is what turned us on to Chuck Wendig.
Exactly. This was infamous. He posted this like a month or so ago, and it was just making the rounds on Twitter, and it just like, it is what brought him to our attention. So here you go.
I was going to say, this is on brand for y'all. Oh, no! Well, okay, here we go. Buckle up, Butterdicks! It's time to talk about Doritos!
Jesus
God,
Christ.
Lord. I'm glad he made sure to put the party-sized Doritos, you know.
Exactly.
It is a party right now.
And he basically like has like it's a 35 tweet storm that's him telling the story about the origin of the word Doritos, which turns out it's a Cthulhian rune that will summon the Dark Lord. And isn't it very funny?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no. He did those 35 tweets about it.
I love Newgrounds. Huh.
So yeah, Butterdicks is what everyone calls each other now. Sorry, that's just the new reality.
That is actually, you know what? We never did like the YouTube branding shit where we call our fans something specific, and I think this represents a great opportunity. So from now on, I would like all self-professed fans of Viga Twito to call themselves Butterdicks.
Oh dear.
An even better suggestion is that everyone except fans of Viga Twito are Butterdicks.
I like it.
So you're in the safety bubble.
Exactly.
If you're listening to this podcast.
If you
right
like
now.
this podcast, you're cool and not a Butterdick. But everyone else, it's just Butterdicks. Just below, even below Amaze Balls. That's how low they are on the ranking.
Oh no! The zero, the levels of hell, Amaze Tits.
They aren't even Amaze Taint. That's how low they are.
Oh, what a life!
Exactly. So I don't know. I think that's all the tweets I
have
can find.
One more to share. I did save. There is one I think is to me is the worst one because it's the one he did with Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh
it's
boy.
It's a retweet. So it's another day of the week. So it's fitting. So
let's hear it. Let's do this.
All right. I'm gonna do both Chuck and Lynn because it's just 3 tweets. Wednesday, the day you flippity-foo, and you think you boopity-bop and sippity-zoom, but the truth is razza-frazza-wuzza-wooza. What I'm trying to say is, maybe your brain isn't working either, but that's okay, because you're great. P.S. You need a firmware upgrade in the form of coffee. Lin-Manuel Miranda responds, vroom. Chuck Wendig replies,
and this is for context. This is after Super Tuesday when fucking Liz Warren ate shit in every state, including her own.
Yeah, it just got absolutely nuked from orbit.
And this is his response. He's just like, "Oh, I can't take it anymore. Zippity zoopity. I need coffee." Jesus Christ, I forgot about that. Thank you for bringing it back to my attention.
It's my pleasure. I'm glad. It's like it would not be right to read off these tweets and not have the floor one.
You're
so
right.
Thank you for saving this bit.
I can't believe we forgot about that, because that was one of the worst fucking tweets of all time. Like, there have been many terrible tweets, but none have mastered its artistry the way Chuck Wendig has. He is the anti-drill. Everything he posts is a disaster for the senses.
When he started getting owned for the Internet Archive thing, he just posted a whole bunch of insults to him, and his only comment was "Welp," which is such an amazing own. I don't know if it's I don't know if I can find it now since he's limited. Give me a second.
I miss the glory days of being able to just search through his feed and just find something that just a take that curdles milk. But anyway, I have one more. It's like a little capstone for it.
Oh boy.
The tweets, because it's it really signifies what this episode is going to be all about. So here it is.
Oh no. Okay. Cue some fucko swarming into my feed with his anime avatar to call me soy boy or soy low or soy face mouth.
Oh my god. You know, Chuck Wendig should have logged off like 2 years ago. You're never going to be posting from a place of strength. Everyone is going to dissect every single word you write to just own you. And he instead drives as fast as he can into the cringe wall. And I respect it, which is why I'm voting for him for president.
Yeah, I'm writing him in. I'm writing in Chuck Wendig for president.
He could fucking win if we vote for him.
Look, listen, his reign is going to be amaze tits, okay?
Oh my god.
Donald Trump's run is not even amaze boobs, it's butter dicks tier. That's why America needs an amaze tits president, and Chuck Wendig is the man. He's the man for the job.
Just think what it will mean to all the little cucks out there to look on the news and see a cuck president.
Oh no!
I don't normally like the cuck word, but it's too easy. It's too easy with Chuck.
Within every over-exaggerated meme, there is a grain of truth, and the soy face thing is, you know, it is obnoxious. They overuse it. They apply it to just like regular people smiling. But just fucking look at this image of Chuck Wendig. He's just trying to open his mouth so large he could consume the world.
Oh, great! Now I'm gonna have to think about Chuck Wendig vor.
Oh no. That's bad.
Open up, amaze tits! It's the sound you make when you're in his belly is floor.
Oh no!
Jesus Christ! All right, so I just want to keep the good times going. So here's like a copy pasta somebody made of Chuck Wendig. This is not his tweets. I want to stress that, but it captures his essence very well.
Okay, I'll do this one. Morning, good lords and lordesses. Let's get this sweet roll. Dr. Burpbag prescribes French toast with a tall glass of kick dick, and remember to carry a big boomstick. It's time to do science, do art, and do sexy time. If you see a goofy goober, dog, bork it, stupid. But stay focused. Ooh, is that a piece of candy? Roll your D20 for a badass. You got a 20. You're a sexy monkey on a big flippin' science rock. Now, take a huge breath, crack your knuckles, fart, poopy, cast restoration, tap your land cards, rewind your VHS tapes, and take a shit. Now you're ready to defeat what the ancient ones called Monday.
Oh. Oh my God,
Jesus Christ!
This is too much, Chuck Wendig. I'm withering just looking at his face over and over.
It's like staring into the void of Reddit, if that makes any sense. It's like a Reddit flavored dark void.
This is what being obsessed with Reddit gold turns you into.
Yeah. Oh. It's like for every Reddit gold you get, it's like it mutates you into a Chuck Wendig. The Chuck Wendigo. Oh. Alright, so we've been going for about like 50 minutes here. Like we had a couple other stories that we could have talked about, but honestly, I think it's better to just keep it short, keep it focused on just how terrible Chuck Wendig is, and just be nothing but people's souls getting obliterated by his terrible tweets.
Yep, more or less. That sounds just 100% Chuck Wendig.
Exactly.
Like, because look at what else we have on here. Is this like the Riot Games CEO says something shitty about Black Lives Matters? It's like, oh, that's going to be a fun subject to talk about.
Exactly. Let's end on a high note.
Do you have anything you want to bring to this joyous occasion, Jack, about Chuck Wendig before we start wrapping up?
I think that pretty much covers it. Like, not, that's. I think we've really gone through, took a deep dive, and kind of realized, like, it's like the dude doesn't even have to talk. Like, the dude makes millions off of fucking Star Wars books. Like, you fucking won the lottery, dude. Just shut the fuck up. Like, you'll always make more money than me, dude. You don't need to just humiliate yourself every fucking day online.
That's the thing, though. Is it like all these powerful people, they cannot escape wanting to be online, wanting to be adored by their millions of fans, and yet inevitably, their ego gets the better of them, and they can no longer detect cringe within themselves. And it just spills out in glorious, huge swaths onto the internet where they are owned constantly.
You just have to think about the darkness that nips at his soul because he writes Star Wars books and defends giant publishing companies against the Internet Archive. And he's like, what is the way that I can defeat this darkness? I know, I can make a fun post about Mondays on Twitter, and I will see those likes roll in to my eyeballs, and the darkness will be at bay for another 24 hours. So.
It's really fucked up when you look less genuine about talking about Mondays than goddamn Garfield.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining, like, they have all those different versions of Garfield. Like Garfield without Garfield and shit like that. Just imagine Garfield as written by Chuck Wendig.
Yeah, no, or replace like Garfield with Chuck Wendig. Just like, this lasagna's amazeballs, John!
That a version of Garfield where John is sympathetic because Chuck Wendig is Garfield would be amazing.
Oh my god. The only person in the universe more pathetic than John Arbuckle. Like, the whole thing of Garfield is that John is an unfuckable dork. But, like, just imagine him standing next to Chuck Wendig. He would look like fucking Jason Momoa or some shit.
Just like, give me my hunk John any day. At least, at least he looks better.
At least the things that come out of his mouth are not eldritch horrors.
And the thing is, too, is that Chuck Wendig has fallen so far because I think he had a lot of sympathy after he got fired by Marvel for basically being too woke or whatever.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And everybody was on his side. And he has just squandered all of his clout by posting cringe. It's amazing.
It's wild considering it's like between that, like of course, obviously, like the folks that run Marvel fucking suck, but it's just like it's gotta suck even more when you take all that goodwill and you're like, nah, I'm gonna be fucking shitty too. Blorp.
Yeah.
And he was real shitty about Bernie during the primary too. Definitely not one of those Warren people who were like, well, I like Bernie and I like Warren, but I'm going with Warren. He was like, Warren is mommy, Bernie is the daddy that beats me, and, and I'm going to tweet about it all the time. And it's just like, dude, what the fuck?
I wish he'd made a tweet about Bernie being like, all right, buckle in, butter dicks. It's time to talk about Bernie Sanders.
Well, his tweets are protected, so we can just say that he did do that.
That's true.
Who's to know?
Well, maybe he'll unprotect his tweets at some point. That'll be so sad. It'll be so sad when, like, he returns to us and he just, like, his first tweet out of, like, lockdown will be like, I've learned nothing from this.
Well, the thing is, too, I would almost respect it more if he just continued being just, like, the soy-faced crabapple that he is. But immediately he was just like, actually, I think Internet Archive does a lot of good work, guys. It's like, shut the fuck up. No, you don't. You just don't like getting owned by everybody. There was a great tweet from, I don't know who this person is outside of just seeing his tweets sometimes, but he's the one who quote tweeted Chuck Wendig's article and was just like, wow, Chuck Wendig has gone from annoying to a supervillain. And who shows up in that thread immediately? Brianna Wu and Movie Bob being like,
"Oh yeah,
no.
I know who you're talking about." It's like, it's just like, I know that fucking tweet. It's like the villain, the villains of the internet and of video games. You know, we're together all appear. It's like when they have like the clip show. It's like, and all your favorites come back.
We haven't done much owning of Brianna Wu, but you know, maybe she'll post something dumb and get in the spotlight. But
just like draw attention to her. I mean, in the same way that like Bob Chipman has just infested every single one of our episodes because we can't stop talking about how cringe he is. We are, like, Vigot Twitter is obsessed with the cringe of Bob Chipman. And it takes a lot to displace the movie Bob, but Chuck Wendig has done it. So congrats.
That's who Chuck Wendig vored. And to defeat movie Bob and become our cringe king.
The king of cringe.
The one who, you know, there could only be one vote.
That's
only
right.
One.
It's like a version. It's like Highlander. Just like there can only be one cringe king, and you vor your opponent, absorb their cringe.
Oh.
All right. I think we're done for now.
Yeah, I would just like to add, because I don't think I mentioned it in the Internet Archive talk, is that everybody is talking about how, like, in response to this, it's like everyone could just use the library. Haven't you heard of something called the library? And these people like don't understand that the internet extends beyond the borders of the United States at all. Like, like this is a resource that's useful to like people beyond, you know, your comfortable urban lifestyle that I'm sure that you must live in if you're going to fucking tweet like this. But I just feel like that's important to mention, as Movie Bob and Brianna Wu are saying, like, don't you care about authors getting paid? Maybe like $19, the $19 they would have made if the Internet Archive doesn't exist. That's just the one thing that's still stuck.
Yeah, and it's like even like in the US, like some cities don't even have like a functional library, and also there's a fucking pandemic. I don't want to go to a library right now.
I want to go to the library and lick the door handles, just like.
Oh, I'm gonna vor all Chuck Wendig's books.
The majority of the books at my library are not available online. Like, they has like an ebook, audiobook thing, but it's just like, yeah, we've gotten to 15% of it. Enjoy these 3 New York Times bestsellers.
All right, Jack. So it was wonderful having you on. I hope you had fun getting exposed to some of the worst fucking Chuck Wendig we could find.
It was an experience, I'll say that. It was. I don't know if I came out better from it, but I learned. Sometimes you just kind of you learn from the deepest pits of whatever you find.
Exactly. So. A man needs to experience cringe. It jars something deep within us. All right, so Jack, where can people find you online, and is there anything else you'd like to plug?
Oh, but where can't they find me? You can obviously at the top of the show, they mentioned I am on a podcast called Fun Time Calls. You may know a veteran of this show, Jordan. He's on there. He's a guy I yell at every episode about like a food or something. I don't know. Chicken sandwiches, or I say Ghostbusters bad or something like that. So that's the main thing you can find me. At Hendrix Trog is the internet like name I use for like Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. I do all sorts of stuff on each of those things.
He's got a solid Twitch channel. I would absolutely recommend checking it out.
Thank you. And also, if you want to check out, like, I do some writing and I have like a photography blog on jackdoeseverything.com. I think it's very to the point. I'm gonna withhold from all the other plugs I usually do. I think that's good enough. That should give you just a general idea what I do. So
that's a good jumping off point. They can investigate, and in their investigations, they can find more places that you exist.
That's
exactly.
Right.
All right, Reese, where can people find you online?
You can find me at Your Very Good Blood.
Very Good Blood.
Blood. You can.
If that's the vampire version of Reese.
At Very Good Blippity Blue. You can find me at Your Very Good Bud on Twitter.
Okay, you can find me at 8alton8 on Twitter. We have a YouTube channel where I very, very infrequently post things called Alton Plays. And we have a website, videogamesaretheworst.pinecast.co, where you can find all of our episodes and links to stuff like our social media. Our main Twitter account is at VGotTwito, where we also are posting dunks on Chuck Wendig.
It's just 24/7. It's thousands of dunks. Just never ending.
Never-ending dunks on Chuck Wendig, which is what he deserves. So I think that's everything.
That's everything.
Oh, and our Patreon, where you can give us $1 at patreon.com/VGotTwito.
Our Patreon that we've like 70% given up on.
Yeah, well, I haven't given up on it, but the fact of the matter is, production has slowed down so much during the COVID thing that it's just like, it's not feasible to charge people like $5 a month. So we've reduced our premium entry starting point to just $1. And for that $1, you can get our Jeffrey Epstein episode. You can get our Mountain Dew episode, our horror stories of Mountain Dew episode, which is honestly one of my favorites because it's just like eye-opening.
Yeah, it's we are vulnerable. There's a lot of material. If you would like to own us here on the podcast, just insult us and hurt our feelings. A lot of great material on there.
Yeah. And video games are okay, maybe. Lots of premium episodes for you to enjoy for $1. Hello, welcome back, everyone. I was going through the episode, editing it, and realized we never actually gave you an example of Chuck Wendig's amazing writing. So we had to reform the squad. So Jack is back with us.
Yep, I'm back. Just like, that samurai character. You know the one.
Samurai Jackaloo Floopaloo.
Yeah, that one.
Listen, we talked a lot about how Chuck Wendig is a writer for Star Wars, and oh my god. We went into like how he's just obsessed about making sure nobody reads his shitty books for free. We really want to give you the idea of like what you're missing out on when you don't pirate Chuck Wendig's amazing books. All right? And so, yeah, Jack, go ahead and give us a little taste for this segment from... Fuck, I don't know what book this is. It's bad.
It doesn't matter. It's Star Wars Cuck Saga, All right, so I'll start from the top here. Just tell me when you've had enough.
Okay.
And now here comes the second TIE fighter. It starts firing at the rooftop, like intent on bringing the whole building down. It's not a bomber, so it won't happen with one run. But those weapons at the front are no small pop guns either. Oh. A couple of passes and the top half of the comm station will be turned to flaming chunks of rubble. He grabs both sides of Bones' head. You got this? Bone says in the voice that warbles from deep to shrill, a mechanized distortion. Consider it done, Master Demon! The tie cannons begin shattering the other half of the roof. Debris sprays, fire plumes. The sound of the fighter and its guns and the explosion roars in Temid's ears. Not just his ears, he can feel it in the back of his teeth.
Oh my god.
Sinjir winces, clearly feeling it too, popping up to fire off a few futile shots at the incoming fighter, and then turning to pop shots at the stormtroopers now coming up through the escape shaft. Bone shrieks, "Roger, Roger!"
Oh
Then
my
the
God.
battle droid jumps in the air, tucking arms and legs together, forming a cannonball, and crashing through the TIE fighter's front windshield. The TIE wibbles and wobbles in the air,
my God.
careening drunkenly across the Myriad rooftops. It zigzags, herkically-jerkically out of sight.
Oh, okay, let's
Just
take a stop right there. I just
Bad
want to.
sentence. Bad sentence.
Yeah,
The TIE fighter wibbles and wobbles in the air is a sentence that should not be a fucking thing in Star Wars. The wibbles and wobbles, zigzags, jerkily.
herkily-jerkily sounds like a Ned Flanders line.
Pretty much, yeah.
When I'm trying to describe something imposing like a TIE fighter, I definitely call it a floofy boy
Oh my
that's
God.
scary wary.
Chuck loves his rhymes, you know? Classic literature.
That's why he's a big Hamilton fan.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's something else about it either. It's sort of like a couple of the weapons being described as no small pop guns. The thing about it is like he doesn't hear it just in his ears, he hears it in the back of his teeth. It's just sort of like the kind of the way he describes things. It is very, you know what? It reminds me a lot of his other tweets where he's just sort of like, you know, oh yeah, ambulating meat palace or whatever.
It just needs some words to be randomly capitalized and it would be perfect. Granted, you know, I think they have to capitalize TIE Fighter because George Lucas, you know, that was one of the conditions. It's like,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
he had to put that down. So
Yeah, so that's what you're missing out on when you don't pirate Chuck Wendig's amazing work. You can see why he felt so strongly about protecting it.
yeah, you know,
Sorry
after reading
to
more-
interrupt, but like, also, what the fuck is going on? This robot does a cannonball and goes through the windshield of a TIE fighter? Like, what? How? Is this in space? I don't know. You know what? And I also don't care. Anyway, that's one thing that we forgot to include. The second thing is that we found another just fucking brain-scorchingly awful one of his, you know, describing one of the days of the week. That thing he likes to do where he just fucking says a day and then a stream of sentences that cause you psychic damage.
yeah.
Alright, so here's the second one. This one's
All right,
about
here we go.
Tuesday.
I love Tuesdays, you know. All right. Tuesday! The day you realize that nothing can stop you because you are a magic skeleton! Packed with meat! And animated with electricity and imagination! You have a cave in your face full of sharp bones and 5 tentacles at the end of each arm!
What?
You can do anything, magic skeleton!
Oh my God! Just a little writing warm up before he writes episode 10.
Oh, that would
That
be
is
so
what Star
fucking
Wars
good.
deserves.
I feel like
Oh.
this isn't the writer Star Wars needs, but the one it deserves.
You know, featuring Lin-Manuel as Commander Florp.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Just like a Chuck Wendig written Star Wars episode 10 with fucking Lin-Manuel Miranda doing like the choreography or some shit. It's like you know what it is? It's like Star Wars Connect the movie.
Oh yeah, like the I'll be honest, I would rather
Like the
you know,
fucking Han Solo song. I'm
Yeah, the
solo,
Flying
I'm Han Solo.
that's way better written than Chuck Wendig's.
Yeah,
Tweets
the
or
Han
book.
Solo dance rules, unlike Chuck Wendig, who I could honestly see getting a major Star Wars property with the way it's just absolutely collapsed.
Hell yeah. Listen, people who are fans of Star Wars, obviously, I don't feel sorry for you. Fuck you. Star Wars is bad. But that's bad for them. But for me, the idea of Chuck Wendig getting to write the next fucking Star Wars movie is amazing. I would love to have something that terrible be born into the world.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a Cold War, and Star Wars needs to be worse than Star Trek for me. Otherwise, I'm going to the last shred of my sanity is going to go away. and if Chuck Wendig is on Star Wars and not on Star Trek, which is my greatest fear on this earth, I think that's a good
God.
You know, he might end up on the Rick and Morty knockoff Star Trek cartoon. That would not surprise me.
Oh, that would be bad. That would be so fucking bad. I've seen like trailers and shit for it, and it's just like, that looks like about the energy they're trying to bring. Imagine this shit, but just like, Stardate ADY 21.
Mr. Spock, prepare to florp.
Oh my god. Oh, it's not worth it's not worth countenancing. Holy shit.
The Klingons are jerkling around our ship, Captain.
The only thing that would soften that blow is that it would be difficult for me to see and hear through my sobbing.
Just like, I feel like if Chuck Wendig was associated with any of the things that we actually like, it would just be like a pull the vest moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Parody in Minecraft. But it's just sort of like, you know, if he was like associated with like like Dune in any way, or if he was like doing stuff for like, I don't know, the Lord of the Rings or something I actually enjoy, it would just be sort of like, well, this is deeply upsetting.
Chuck Wendig doing a Dune adaptation where Lin-Manuel Miranda is Paul Atreides, a rapping Paul Atreides.
No.
He speaks to the Fremen through song.
I'm Paul Atreides, and I'm here to say the spice must flow in a major way.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm Elizabeth Warren, and I'll go see that with you for various contests.
Fuck. Jesus Christ. Oh, we've all upset ourselves very quickly, it seems like. Jack, I would just like to say that, like, from your reading of that, like, you should do audiobooks.
I'm good. I think after that I'm going to pre-retire from ebook reading. That is that's a lot to ask for anyone. It's enough already to read, you know, Chuck Wendig books, but like audiobooks. Like, man, it's like I would have to imagine Chuck Wendig would be reading it himself. Like, who else would?
I don't even know what Chuck Wendig sounds like.
Chuck Wendig has like a pretty deep voice, actually. I have a friend who sounds like exactly like him, which was maybe like, oh no. that it's like, if you wanted like a carbon copy, I know a guy, but that's it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's not the voice that gets conjured to my head when I read this shit.
No, because it's like you read this writing and you don't think of like, oh, Tuesday, the day you realize that, you know, you think
maybe that's why he thinks it sounds cool. Maybe that's like he's like got like a deep voice, so he just this is epic Ron Swanson memes. You know what I mean? he like thinks, he just sort of imagines like Ron Swanson reading out the kind of insane bullshit that he writes, and just that doesn't make it better. I think in some ways that makes it worse.
The tone of voice can sometimes trick you. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like in that case it becomes less like, let me try that with like this thing. Tuesday, the day you realize that nothing can stop you, because you are a magic skeleton packed with meat and animated with electricity and imagination. You have a cave in your face full of sharp bones and 5 tentacles at the end of each arm. You can do anything, magic skeleton. And I don't think that makes it better.
No. Now I just think that sounds like a line from Fallout.
Florp never changes.
Yeah, get ready for Chuck Wendig to be involved in the Amazon.
Oh my god.
That reading was epic applesauce.
All right, so I think that's everything for now. So thank you again for gracing us with your presence, Jack. Thank you for putting up with.
I'm always happy to bring my weirdo voice talents to hire me for whatever's needed. Yeah.
I think you have a real talent for it.
Some folks have a normal voice, and us weirdos out there have to bring life to the other characters. You know, it'd be easy. It's always expected. There's always a guy that smokes 5 packs a day who can do a good, deep voice.
Right.
You can do all the tough guys, but what about all the meatwads out there? Meatwad. Not everyone can do a meatwad, but special people can. So we're out there, and if you got a weirdo voice, you're valid. You're cool too. You don't have to be tough.
Yeah, don't deceive yourself by thinking that the things you're saying are cool just because you have a deep voice, because then you end up like Chuck Wendig.
Exactly.
The thought is too horrifying to even consider.
Yeah, stay tuned to the sequel to this episode, where we have Jack use the meatwad voice to read Elon Musk's tweets.
No!
All right. Later, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
How does a bastard orphan son of a whore and a Scotsman dropped in the middle of a forgotten spot in the Caribbean by Providence and Pulveris and Waller grow up to be a hero and a scholar? The $10 founding father without a father got a lot farther by working a lot harder, by being a lot smarter, by being a self-starter. By 14, they placed him in charge of the trading charter. Alexander Hamilton. My name is Alexander Hamilton, and there's a million